All right, so next up on the NASCAR Cup car rebuild, we got a new to us used CNR radiator. Been flow tested, it flows good, pressure tested, pressures are good. Now on this radiator, you'll notice there is no radiator cap. This is a closed system radiator, and if you look down in there, this radiator has split 1.5 inch core tubes, and it has 2 sets of them. So it has 2 tubes, 1.5 inch each one, split. So that's 3/4, 3/4. So basically like a 4-core radiator, but 3/4 inch width tubes. And of course, CNR uses a really good fin count. It's going to do a way better job of heat transfer, which is what the radiator is, a heat exchanger. So that'll be a big upgrade from the radiator that's in the car now. And this neck up here, that is to go to our expansion tank. So we need an expansion tank to run this radiator. So you have to have a place to be able to put your coolant in. That's what this is here. So we have our 4-inch box. We have our mounting plate. It's going to go on basically like that. So it has a way to bolt to the firewall. We have a cap. That's going to be on. That's going to go on there like that. And then we have our base with our exit line. This line will go to that line on the radiator, and that's how the radiator will fill. Now, this side, we have a cap that screws on. That's so you can purge all the air out of it. So that's going to work out really good. And this is the radiator we're replacing. This one came in the car. It is actually marked 1992 on the bottom of it, so it's been around a minute. And it only has 2 1-inch row tubes in it. So we're gaining a whole another row. So that should definitely fix our problem. Both radiators are 2-row cross flow. So the water comes in on one side, flows across, goes up, comes back out the same side. So two stages. So we're going to go ahead and get this heat exchanger put together and get the radiator mounted in the car. Okay, surge tank is finished. It's a quart and a half. Got our dash 8 in the bottom, mounting plate on the back, filler cap in the front. I put it up in the corner so you can get to it when it's mounted on the firewall. So that's ready to go in the car. All right, so there's the radiator we're using in the Cup car. You notice it's got some tabs here and has cam locks up there. So it's already designed to have an oil cooler or fan shroud attached to it. So we're going to use the sheet metal brake with the modifications to go ahead and bend the shroud out of 065 aluminum. So there's the new piece of aluminum with both ends broke, some notches cut out, some rubber sealant to seal to the cord tight without having any vibrations chipping it up. And there's the shroud sitting on the radiator. You see the clips holding the bottom edge in. There's the flange that'll grab the top with the cam locks. You can see we have our circles, and there's the dual 12-inch spall fans that we're going to go ahead and mount to this thing. Still have to cut the shroud out, but that'll be mounted up, and it'll be right around 3,800 CFM of airflow, so overheating will not be an issue anymore. So update on the NASCAR. Here's the old radiator. It's the one that has Alan Quickie written on the bottom of it, 1992. Alright, so we got the radiator fitted in there pretty nice. Got the new mounting brackets and stuff in there. You can see we got good fitment from the shroud to the radiator. We moved the oil tank, or oil filter rather, a little bit farther forward on the frame to make some more room for the fan shroud. And alright, so I took the fan shroud and I stuck it in there. I was able to take some magic marker marks where the fans would fit. Then I put green tape, 1.5 thickness wide, to make my inside where it's actually going to get cut out. So let me slide this in and show you how it's going to fit. All right, so here's the radiator installed with the fans completed. And now we're ready to move on to the battery box. So here's the 1/2 inch square tubing, and there's the battery box that we're building. Extra thick material to make it collision proof so we don't damage the battery. So I'm gonna go ahead and weld this stuff up and get it ready to put in the car. All right, so after a little bit of welding, this is it. Our battery box for the Cup car. Now we'll clean it up a little bit, get it prepped, and get it in the car and weld it in. Here's our test fit. Got it in the passenger side there where it belongs. There's the fitment inside the car. Get some color on there, get some welding in there. We'll have this thing wrapped up. So there's our battery box on the passenger side. It's all welded in and everything. Just have to finish a couple panels and do a little paint on the inside and then make the exterior cover. But that's all, basically it's all done. So there's the battery box all built in, battery in. Go ahead and put the plate on and we'll better put it back on the ground. All right, there's the battery box all finalized with the lid shut, cables all connected. So another thing checked off the list. So there's the pictures of the battery box on the inside of the car. Now move to the right side to better balance the driver's weight. All right, so I got the Cup car on the 2-post lift and been working on getting the front geometry straightened out. Being the car was built for left-hand turns, the chassis is specific in the alignment spec. So the left front wheel here would normally have positive camber and a lot less caster than the passenger side would have. So I've been measuring all the A-arms and everything was perpendicular. So I couldn't, it took me a minute, and then I realized that this mount here was actually mounted on the frame in a different spot. It was actually moved forward about 3/4 of an inch, and it was about a 1/2 inch out. So I cut it off the frame, put it in the proper position, and welded it back in. So you can see it there. You can see I've got a alignment block in there. And if we go over to the other side, there's the passenger side with the same exact size block in there. So since I did that, now the car has 2.5 degrees negative camber on both sides, and it has equal caster. And the tire scrub radius is correct. On this particular car, the spindles and stuff were all the same, so it made that part of it easy to do. So now the front geometry is all correct for road racing, and we'll go ahead and put the road race housing in the back later this week, and that'll be done. And then brake ducts, and we're just about ready to get this thing to the track. Got the race quip tow strap hooked up, mounted to the frame rail, good to go. Radiator and brake ducts are next. All right, so the next thing we have to work on is front brake ducts. Gotta have front brake ducts to keep the brakes cool when you're road racing. So we have these nice plastic 2-exit brake ducts. They got a nice curvature in them. It'll match the front of the car. And so what I've done is got some red oak, and we've cut out our piece. That's going to be our template for cutting out the front valance, and also going to be our stamping mold for our stainless mesh. So red oak is the hardest thing I could find in the local home improvement store, so hopefully it's going to be strong enough to do the work. But this will be our stamping die. And this will be the mold. We're going to cut this out, and we're going to put a radius on this and a radius on this for the to make the stamping die. And this is the stainless mesh we're going to use. So when we get everything all radiused, we'll put that stamping die on top of it, and we'll put it in a press and press it, and we'll have a formed stainless wire mesh that will flush out the front valance, and should look really good. So that's the next job we got to get done on. Okay, so we're going to make a brake duct with a grill that's pushed out so it'll be flush, or maybe even stick out a little bit from the front fascia of the car. So this is our die, and this is our mold. So we're going to put this in the press. So we set the stainless mesh over our template. Stick the forming die over top of it. We have to put a steel plate so that it pushes on it evenly. And now that we got the press tight, now we'll go ahead and press it all the way down. Till it's tight. That's it. And there it is. Kind of hard to see, but you kind of see the shaping there. So that'll go through the fascia of the car. Okay, so after I cut out the compressed mesh, we went ahead and cut the front valance and then pushed the mesh through the opening, and then mounted the brake duct plastic to the back side of the valance and riveted it all together. Then I took 3-inch high temp brake duct hose and started routing the hoses back towards the wheel, figuring out that one hose would go in front of the spindle to the center of the rotor, the second one would go up and over the A-arm and eventually mount to the brake caliper to help cool the brake caliper. So all in all, I believe the brake ducts came out good. They really look nice on the front of the car. And on to the next thing. Thank you for watching part 5 of the Cup car build. Remember, subscribe, smash the like button, ring the bell for instant notification, and share this video with your friends. Thanks.